Documentation will always be your best friend when it comes to maintaining servers and databases. And this doesn't change if you're on Google SQL Database or if you're on a local on-premises server. If you need documentation, you need documentation. So let's talk about getting some documentation from our Google SQL Database. So I'm going to connect up to my Google SQL Database instance, and I'm going to try to document pretty much everything I can about this server. So we're going to capture versions and file settings and paths and all of that fun stuff. We're going to get all of it, everything we possibly can about the documentation around this. Now, I happen to know through some testing, we cannot capture the model database. This is, even though this looks like an instance of SQL Server, it is not. It is Google SQL Database. And the model database is just a little bit different the way it's implemented, so it's not something we can capture. So with that disabled, let's try to capture every other bit of information that we can. I'm going to go ahead and let it go out to HTML, and we will run it and see how it goes. Now what I am going to do is, this takes a couple of minutes to gather all the data because it's going out to the cloud, finding out all the information about it, bringing it all back down, putting together all the dependencies. So I'm going to let it run, but I will speed it up for the video. And there it goes. It's completed everything. That's great. Let's click on OK, and then we can take a look at the documentation that we now have on our database. And so you can see that we've got all kinds of fun stuff in here, all the tables, all the information is now documented. We can see everything about this. We can see the SQL scripts, we can see dependencies, all that stuff is now available to us. Whereas, we just didn't have any documentation before. Now we have all the documentation. Every possible bit of information about this server, the views, the databases, the store procedures, every bit of functionality in and around it that we could document has been. Now it's not as complete. We did have to leave off the model database, but you'll notice we do have the MSDB database has been fully put out, and we do have the master database as well. This has also been put out with the basics of the information within it. So all the information that we would expect to see, we are getting. So we are getting a fairly complete, a fairly thorough set of documentation about this database. So SQL Doc works with Google SQL Database. Thanks for watching. My name is Grant Fritchie. I work for Redgate Software.